days a year. Call 855-4ECG now. That's 855-432-4669. Or visit their website at emergencyconstructiongroup.com and let Emergency Construction Group put your life back together one step at a time. That's Emergency Construction Group. Your satisfaction is their passion.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 4 o'clock.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Credan.
Brought to you by Fidelity.
Food trucks may soon have a larger role to play in downtown Elgin and public spaces following a key vote by the Planning and Zoning Commission. The commission unanimously recommended expanding rules to allow food trucks on public property, including parks and downtown streets, as long as vendors secure conditional permits and meet several requirements. Indian Prairie School District 204 is moving forward with the purchase of 3 new school activity buses equipped with wheelchair lifts. Following a unanimous vote at this week's board meeting, the $305,000 investment will be fully funded through federal grant money from Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. Dog owners in Will County have an opportunity to save this summer as the Forest Preserve District has announced they're offering half-price dog park permits valid at all 6 dog parks. Reduced rates are set at $20 for county residents and $40 for non-residents. Contact Will County for further information. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Credan.
Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals, and it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with New Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
From the pages of the Elgin newspapers of 100 years ago today, these are the headlines brought to you by the Elgin History Museum.
This is Linda Rock, sharing stories that were in Elgin newspapers on July 10th, 1925. Henry Marquis, Elgin motorist arrested last night on a speeder charge, was fined $5 and costs in a police magistrate George R. Thompson's court today. Marquis was arrested by motorcycle officer Buckhahn when he was caught hitting a 35-mile-an-hour clip on North State Street. Alfred D. Edwards, president of the Woodruff and Edwards Foundry Company, and George H. Abbott, an employee of the company, have been issued a patent in Washington, D.C. for an adjustable pedestal for combined desks and seats. The device makes it possible for anyone seated at the desk to lower or heighten the seat to his best advantage, and is considered a big improvement over the old-style stationary desks. 25 Elgin golfers will invade Aurora for an intercity golf tournament with the players of the Aurora Country Club Wednesday, July 15th. It was announced today by officials of the Weldwood Country Club. The list of players who will make the trip will be announced later, it was stated. A return intercity meet will be staged during August, it was also announced. Tomorrow, the second round of play for the Tyro and Hubble Cups will be played over the Weldwood course. The Hubble Cup tournament is for men more than 45 years of age, and the Tyro Cup meet for men under 45 years of age.
Elgin 100 Years Ago is a presentation of the Elgin History Museum. Be sure to visit the museum located at 360 Park Street in Elgin, open Wednesday through Saturdays 11 to 4. You can also listen to Elgin 100 Years Ago at www.elginhistory.com.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Flood watch tonight and Friday in the listening area. This afternoon, partly sunny with scattered showers and thunderstorms after 5 p.m., a high near 85. Tonight, mostly cloudy with scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some storms may produce heavy rain, a low around 68. Currently, it is 87 with clear skies. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals, and it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
I know we're at an at-will state, but for making a comment, like, hey, your hair looks good. And then I got a call from HR saying, hey, you know what? You're under investigation. Do I have any recourse?
Were you fired?
No, not yet.
The problem, Eddie, is they can fire you for any reason they want. They literally can wake up in the morning and say, you know what? I'm a little bored this morning. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to fire Eddie for no reason. Yup, he can do that. Yeah, that's California. Yep, welcome.
Handle on the Law. If you're injured and need a lawyer, go to handleonthelaw.com.
Chicago defense attorney Mark Schieblo has co-authored the book titled DUI Jury Trial, which is a true story of a DUI case that he defended. The accused was an Illinois truck driver arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol. This book contains facts about the case from the date of the arrest up to the jury's verdict, and this nonfiction novel also includes the transcripts from the jury trial itself. The book DUI Jury Trial is now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com.
Hello, America, and good day to our friends around the world. This is a political talk show on WRMN. Thank you very much for being here with us today. Thanks for listening on the AM dial. That's the 1410 AM dial that you got over there. Also, WRMN1410.com has our 24-hour live stream on that side. Those of you that are on YouTube, welcome in as well, where you get to see the radio. It's great to be here with you as well. If you are on the YouTube, you have the option of chatting, so you can just hop right into that chat. If you're there, go ahead and leave that like, subscribe, etc., etc. All of the different housekeeping that goes along with, the following. We do have the text line open as well. That is going to be 505-926-1410, 505-926-1410. But I have a surprise for you. That chat line is also the call-in line for today, 505-926-1410. I can only have one of you on at a time, but come on over, send your messages. I think this is going to end up being a pretty hot topic today. This is a standalone stream as well. We just got done listening to Talk Time with Tammy and Friends. And then after this, it's going to be the Sox game if you're listening on the AM dial. So this is our 2 hours right here just for us on this stream. So it'll be easy to find on YouTube if you miss anything like that. Today, I've got two kind of topics that I want to talk about that have been in the news a little bit here that kind of go together, but only if you are a little bit of a nerd. And the first topic that I want to talk about is Superman. There's a new Superman movie that's coming out. And so there's a lot of, I don't know, there's a lot of people that are talking about the word immigrant in describing Superman. And so we're going to break that down of the guy is from a different planet, literal alien. So there's that first part. But the other part is we hear a lot about why are you making Superman political? Why is it like this? Well, facts are facts. The guy is from a completely different place. Now, was he raised with American values? Absolutely. If I'd want any stranded alien baby to fall down, I would want it to be raised here in America with American freedoms and the republic in which it stands, right? So this is a story about that. And what I want to do is, again, in true apolitical talk show fashion, we can talk about the current side of things. We can talk about the current debacle, the current thing. But I'd like to look a little bit back, because everybody's talking about the now times, right? I want to always bring that context to things. That way we understand that news doesn't live in a bubble, and this isn't the first time that Superman has had a political message. So if you've got a cool Superman story or anything like that, this is a perfect time for the text line to come in. 505-926-1410 or the chat line in there, because that's what we're going to jump into here in this first hour. Second hour, in true nerd fashion, we're going to talk about Superman's energy. Solar energy. Superman is powered by a yellow sun. And so in the news as well, we have been hearing a lot of things about clean energy. A lot of different, how it destabilizes the electrical grid, or it's too expensive because of all the subsidies, or fossil fuels are way more reliable. That's what we're going to knock down today as well. I've got a couple clips here or there that I want to play too, so stick around with us. It's going to be a great time. But first I want to talk a little bit about Apolitical Talk Show itself and the platform that we try to strive here for the show. This is a show that tries to take it from that factual good faith approach and will take on any idea, right? There's a lot of different stations or shows or all of these different things that never bring on somebody to actually have a conversation. I've had my mind changed multiple times on this show. I've had my mind changed while I was doing research for this show. And that's the spirit of Apolitical Talk Show, is that generic forum, a political talk show in which we can all throw in our ideas and express them into the marketplace of ideas. If it's a good idea, then it'll go and it'll soar and it'll be great. Or if it is a bad idea, it will fall like anything else in a marketplace. So that's what we're going to talk about today, Superman and clean energy. And we want to take it from that approach, not as a let's beat on whoever is in charge. Now, whoever's in charge may falter or fall, but we don't need to berate them for every single thing. There's a lot of people that like to look at the administration and only point out the bad. One of the good things that I appreciate that this administration put together, even though I don't like the rest of the bill, is the tax on tips and overtime. Now, is there a cap to that I don't like? No, yeah, I don't like that there should be a cap on it, but you know, they're trying it out, and this is that first side. In fact, this is such a great idea that the other camp took it over and wanted to also promise that. And so the more populist ideas that benefit all of us, instead of the populist ideas that, I don't know, there should be only a few people who have everything and the rest of us should fight over the rest. But that's the approach that I always want to take here on a political talk show. And I want to make sure that anybody who feels otherwise at any point and says, look, you're too biased on this or you're focusing on another side, please, I welcome all suggestions. I am a civic Republican. I am not a liberal. I am not a neocon. I am not a MAGA. I am not a Tea Party. I am a what republicanism was when we founded this country. The 4 parts to our government broken into 3 branches and the rights in which we all live under. Everything after that, let's decide on policy. Let's go back and forth. Let's pick culturalism or let's pick an economy or anything like that. And so what I want to change with this show and with our message here is I want to change it to where we're not taking it back to the center. We're not going to pull you back to the center. We're not going to force you to compromise. We don't want you to turn around and not be who you are. My goal is to not pull you to the center. My goal is for you to remember our foundation. Why are we allowed to have these things? How do we accomplish these things? Those are all laid out in the foundation of America. Everything else on top of that, policy-wise, whatever laws that you want to pass, amendments, changes, as long as it is within the confines of the foundation. We don't call them the founding fathers because they were centrist, the centered fathers. Foundational republicanism, civic republicanism. The reason that we have a republic is because of this. Not the parties. We have this because of the paper and the declaration we just got done celebrating. And so this is what we want to do here on a political talk show. And this is my disclaimer for when we talk about these issues. And it may look bad for one party or the other. But that's not me making them look bad. That is me telling you what they are doing. And if it is bad, or if it is uncouth, or it is not becoming of whatever office, or not relying on the foundations of America, that's on that person. That's not on me. That's not on the person who throws the both sidesism out or anything like that. And we have to live in that objective reality that we can't keep shooting the messenger because they're part of a different team, or we assume they're a part of a different team. I can't tell you how many times I have a conversation with somebody and I have to repeatedly tell them I don't support this candidate. You keep assuming that when I say bad things about your person, I automatically get thrown into the category of the other people. And until we can have even a third mindset, let alone a third party, we have to have an objective mindset to things. And part of the goal here on A Political Talk Show is to present that objective side. And so today we're going to talk about facts. We're going to talk about Superman, the Ubermensch, if you will, because it was based off of Nietzschean type of overman, the next man, the better man. And I'm glad that Superman is American. But he's not from America. but he's American. And we're going to talk about how he is powered and how our comparison of how we power ourselves, America powers ourselves. Solar may not be the answer for everything. Wind may not be the answer for everything. Nuclear, coal, oil, other natural gases. All of these things have a place. And when we start continuously talking about A or B, left or right, this or that, this binary choice that we continuously think is freedom. Well, it's either got to all be this clean energy, or it's got to all be this old fossil fuel stuff. No, back and forth, we don't care. We're going to fight each other on it. And so the spirit of Apolitical Talk Show in this show right here, I invite you into the conversation, any conversation that we have here. You can always reach me at sonar@WRMN1410.com. There's comments right down at the bottom for those of you that are listening live or watching on the YouTube side. Later on, afterwards, we see those comments as well. So stick around with us today. I want to take a quick break, reset, and I'll give you the background of Superman before we get into his political exploits. Stick around. More Apolitical Talk Show here on WRMN. 6 o'clock. Sox game's going to be on.
Here on WRMN AM 1410, we like to keep you informed and in tune to what's happening here in the Fox River Valley and what's going on here on WRMN. We recognize the importance of local radio to be a part of the conversation and to be a part of the community for the community.
You know, we talked about the importance of community theater, but supporting community radio is a big deal too. And, you know, for WRMN, this is a really cool thing that you guys do every day, and a really important thing. You have to have a local media outlet to talk about what's going on in your town. So you guys do a nice job.
Tune in to AM 1410, WRMN. Don't forget, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/WRMN Radio. Keep in tune and informed on what's happening here in the Fox River Valley, right here on WRMN.
Looking for an affordable dentist close to home? Bender Dental Care in Elgin offers new patient specials from $29, including x-rays, a regular cleaning, and exam. Senior discounts, a no insurance discount plan, and care credit financing. Bender Dental Care is a full-service family dentist with an outstanding 5-star Google rating. To find out more, call us at 847-888-4333. Bender Dental Care, affordable dentistry, close to home.
Welcome back to Apolitical Talk Show on WRMN. Today we're talking Supermans. All of that jazz. Yeah, right? Great soundtrack. I'm probably going to talk a little bit more about that this weekend as well. Free Speech Friday is coming up. We've got Cecilia Brooks back in the house. David Tees will be along with us as well. So today we'll explore Superman, right? Not as a superhero, but as a powerful symbol used for political messaging in American history, right? Propaganda comes in a few different places, few different forms, and propaganda is not always 100% bad. We talk about that sometimes. Now, we use it as a pejorative most of the time, a propagandist. This is propaganda. But wash your hands after using the bathroom all over the place. So or not using the bathroom that way, but all of the signs that tell you to wash your hands all over the place. That's propaganda. It's a message repeatedly put at you in all kinds of different places in a few different forms, fonts, pictures. But it's nonetheless propaganda. And Superman being a symbol, especially created in 1938, he was a symbol of America, and he was the embodiment of what somebody thought a Superman, the Übermensch, as said earlier, from that Nietzschean side of things, the next man, the Superman. That's where they got that name from. The man that becomes after us, that's better than us. The next evolution of man. And not as a physical side of things, as it is the superhero. That's not what Nietzsche intended, but it is what we translated into superiority and the next level of Americans. But it was almost an enlightened type of mind of the next level. And when we talk about enlightenment with America, that's where we get our liberties. That's where we have freedom, justice, the American way. Where have I heard that before? And so Superman was created in 1938 by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. Superman is an alien named Kal-El from the planet Krypton. But he was raised with a different name. He was raised as Clark Kent. And at that time, there was, secret identity, sure, but what stopped them at any time of calling him Kal-El? I mean, it's an odd name, sure. But even right there, right from the start, we already see the Americanization of a person who came over here. Now, immigration laws were different in 1938. I guess you could just fall out of the sky and be adopted out of a cornfield. I don't know. I didn't really look into it. But he always stood for hope, justice, and moral clarity. But the way these values have been used has changed over time because they've reflected the political climate. Because we, as people, have evolved to think about morality. Back in 1938, it was still moral to beat your spouse, your wife to be specific. We can imagine the different way of life for all minorities in 1938 as well. All of the laws that were in place to keep people away from pursuing life, liberty, and the American way. And so that's why Superman has been political throughout his life as a non-fictional hero, right? We're talking about fictional people at this point. and arguing over their political views. But there is no way to dispute an alien from Krypton not being an immigrant. It's almost like we've forgotten what definitions are anymore. Stick around, more apolitical talk show coming up. We'll talk about World War II, the Ku Klux Klan, and anti-communism. Hear from Superman. Apolitical talk show. We'll be right back. WRMN.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan.
Brought to you by Fidelity.
2 men are under arrest in Naperville after a street racing incident resulted in 2 people being injured. Authorities
Hey, everybody on the YouTube lands. What's happening? How you been? What's going on? Yeah, I'm broadcasting over here at home. It's good to see you there, Cleveland Dennis. A Superman from Cleveland. That's him. I finally got my coffee, too. Yeah, there was somebody on the texting stuff that said, oh, what did he do? It was on X or something like that. Yeah. Some dummy put Superman isn't an immigrant. He's an orphan. The fact that they can spend $300 million on a film and can't get this very basic concept correct really is something. Excuse me. So I understand that. I understand that sentiment from it. But it's not true. Like, he is an orphan, sure. But then he got a family. I'm just glad the Kents found him. What do you think about the Supermans, huh? Let me know down in the comments. You got a couple people coming over. I've also got the text line open too. So 505-926-1410. You can actually call that line and I can bring you over into the broadcast. Yeah, American symbol, right? Good to see you there. All kinds of people jumping back into the stream. Appreciate that. Even on the internet stream, we got a couple people sitting over there too. All the way from Florida, we've got somebody on that one. So we'll give everybody some shout outs when we get back. Here, we're going to come back at 34 after. So stick around, those of you on the YouTube side of things as well. This will just be the rest of the commercial break. Feel free to fast forward if you're already watching this as a replay. See you in a bit.
And 555 Willow in West Dundee. They're proud to keep your car clean while giving back to our community. Text BRITT to 30400. That's BRITT to 30400 now for your free car wash, and see why Britain's touchless car wash is the fast, gentle, and reliable choice.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. This afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms after 5 p.m. Partly sunny with a high near 85. Tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms before midnight, then a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Mostly cloudy with a low around 68. Currently, it is 88 and partly cloudy. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Here's comedian Howie Mandel for hands-free Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins.
Yeah, I'm holding a new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-in sneaker, and first of all, I barely know I'm holding it. It's that light. You see, Cozy Fit is a cool new sneaker where the upper is made of a soft quilted material. It's kind of like a little puffer jacket for your feet, except it looks like a super stylish sneaker.
Introducing new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins, the latest comfort creation from Skechers. You can find Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Welcome back. A Political Talk Show, 34 past the hour. Love to see you guys over there on YouTube as well. Stick around. We're going to go all the way to 6 o'clock. So if you just jumped in to the show, why not keep us on? We're talking Superman and solar energy. Well, maybe some wind and a few other things. When I did my research for the energy side of things, I wanted to make sure I also put in some nuclear. I hope I'm saying that right. I always have trouble with words that I read before I've ever said them before or heard them. Now, obviously, we hear nuclear all the time. But we're going to talk about Superman for a little bit. So coming up here, I think, tomorrow, July 11th, a new movie simply titled Superman. The film is directed and written by and produced by James Gunn. If you don't know James Gunn, that's Guardians of the Galaxy, that is Peacemaker, that is, oh my goodness, so many things in the Marvel Universe. And just like J.J. Abrams going in and changing the different franchises for things like that, James Gunn is also going to throw his, I guess, style into the foundations of DC, just like Marvel. It's crazy that Marvel's kind of entering a new phase of just new type of characters and everything else because they've already laid down the universe. DC should be back now. Sorry about that. Got a little internet bug over here. So where were we talking? Oh yeah, we were talking about DC. So DC has kind of had a little bit of a rough start. Now, I'm not saying that the Snyder run wasn't bad or anything like that. It was actually pretty good. Now I wouldn't watch like all three different types of the cuts and everything else. My goodness, I don't even do that with Lord of the Rings. That's already forever. But DC's trying to do this thing, but they're calling Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters. Now, they're going to introduce Superman, but it won't be the normal origin story Superman. Clark Kent, Superman, Kal-El, whatever name that I guess they picked that day. Maybe Superman should wear a bracelet that tells me. But what this is going to be is it's already going to be a couple years into him already being a superhero. Right? They're going to take the origin story, I think, closer to Justice League, right? So you'll see the regular players, Lois Lane, Lex Luthor. We've got a couple people in there that are great. The one I'm looking forward to seeing in there in a cameo who's moved over as well, Nathan Fillion. The plot, for the most part, again, is not going to be that narrative story. It does have a political and social stake to it, which is what we're talking about today with the history of Superman. But Superman interferes with a fictional international conflict, triggering ideological scrutiny that pits him against authoritarian sentiment and nationalistic backlash. It's pretty much your run-of-the-mill political coming of age or political revolution type of story anyway. Luthor ends up exploiting everything, but this is Superman. Like, did you not read or watch or any of these things? Lex Luthor, massive trillionaire, manipulating the world for whatever he wants to do. Superman standing up for the little guy? Like I don't understand where Superman became the villain in some of these things. And so I think this is kind of where my frustration comes with some of this, where it's another green M&M type of situation. Who cares if the green M&M wears comfortable shoes? If they don't want to wear comfortable shoes, they'll wear the shoes that they want. They're fictional characters, people, but if you still want to give them personification, then let them have the same rights that you do. If you're going to personify somebody, even a fictional character, give them the same rights you do. And don't tell them how to dress or what to call themselves. Kal-El or Clark. There's been a few backlash for things here and there. Dean Cain, who used to play Superman. I loved the series, Lois and Clark. It was fantastic. I used to watch it with my dad. It was fantastic. But Dean Cain was ambushed by TMZ. I would only assume they were ambushed by TMZ. It usually happens that way. And he said, how woke is Hollywood going to make this character? How much is Disney going to change their Snow White? Why are they going to change these characters to exist for the times? I don't really understand. Now, I haven't seen the movie, but I don't understand necessarily where all of the hubbub comes in with it. Superman fights villains. Like, what are you going to say next? You're going to say that James Bond shouldn't fight Spectre, who is literally the shadow government? All because it might make a billionaire or a person who's hoarding water from a certain place feel bad? Is this where we've gotten to in inclusivity? That we now have to worry about people who live on Skull Island and their feelings? Mad scientists? People hoarding the diamond industry? Or, you know what? Goldfinger tried to radiate gold to change the market. Now, I don't think you need to go as nefarious as radiating gold, but I think changing the market on a whim is pretty nefarious too. So this is my question to everybody, is when did Superman become woke? Woke man, the Uber man. The one who is literally built on the philosophy of being better than man. Superman. Übermensch in the original German. And so World War II, Superman was a wartime hero. He fought against Nazi spies and Japanese saboteurs in comics and radio. Each episode of comic would show Superman discovering enemy plans, uncovering them as Clark Kent. He had the investigative journalism side to things. And then stopping them as Superman. Often with a strong patriotic message. These stories boosted American morale and encouraged vigilance against threats. Superman was not just a hero, but a defender of the American way. And the American way during wartime. Someone to look up to, a hero. 1946, fighting the Ku Klux Klan. After the war, the radio show The Adventures of Superman aired a storyline called Clan of the Fiery Cross, directly targeting the KKK. It It was a young Japanese American boy who joins a baseball team and is threatened by the clan of the Fiery Cross. Superman protects him, exposes the clan's secrets, and defeats their leaders, making them look foolish and powerless. This was one way of the earliest uses of Superman for direct social activism, showing that hate groups could be defeated by courage and truth. Cold War, anti-communist, because that was, again, the sentiment, the morality of the times. 1950s and 60s, during the Cold War, Superman became a strong anti-communist symbol. Comic books, TV shows showed up him stopping communist spies and nuclear threats. Episodes often ended with him affirming truth, justice, and the American way. These stories supported American confidence and framed Superman as a champion of freedom against communism. Post-Vietnam, a hero above the politics. After the Vietnam War and Watergate, Americans lost trust in their government. The 1978 Superman film reflected this shift. Superman saves people from disasters and criminals, but he does not work for the government. In the film's climax, he even reverses time to save Lois Lane, acting beyond human level of any kind of thing we could conceive. This showed Superman as a timeless moral force, a hero representing virtue itself rather than political institution, a hero of the people, with, of course, is the American way. 2006, Superman Returns and global identity. After 9/11, Superman was presented as a savior for everyone, not just Americans. In Superman Returns, he comes back after years away to find the world has changed. He saves the entire planet by lifting a dangerous landmass into space, nearly dying to save the world. This positioned him as a global hero, reflecting a world that increasingly saw itself as interconnected rather than divided by nations. Truth, justice, and the American way, spreading peace and democracy around the world. Propaganda. But not all messages, not all propaganda is nefarious and malicious. It is when they twist those things and say truth, justice, and the American way is for us and our people and our American way, not the American way, our American way. A nationalist is not a patriot, my friends. Patriot doesn't care about your policy, into the fact that, like, let's have an argument or discussion about it. But as far as your beliefs and what you believe and what you practice and who you love and whatever else that comes into things, a patriot will follow what is written in the foundations, as we talked about. Now, a nationalist will shape the world to what they think this nationality should be. And when Superman doesn't fit that nationality narrative of the nationalist, of the native party, right? They like to throw that in, even in Gangs of New York. We were born here. Okay? That's all up until the 14th Amendment comes around. In 2011, renouncing U.S. citizenship. In Action Comics 900, Superman renounces his U.S. citizenship. I wouldn't do it. Can't dream of it. After peacefully supporting protesters in Iran, Superman is criticized for creating an international problem. This is 2011. He decides to renounce his citizenship, saying he does not want to be seen as a tool of U.S. policy. A far cry from truth, justice, and the American way. In recent years, today's comics focus on Superman's identity as a refugee and an immigrant. Stories show his journey from Krypton to Kansas, his integration into American life, and his defense of Earth's immigrants and refugees, highlighting empathy and justice. These narratives use Superman to argue for dignity, belonging, and hope for all displaced people. Because Superman is not just an American symbol. Now, Superman is an American symbol. Truth, justice, and the American way. We're going to say that forever and ever and ever, even if we forget that it was Superman. But here he is, protector of the world. The world only has borders with atmosphere. The atmosphere stops, you're in space. So being a symbol of the world, I'll take it back the other direction. Let's go all the way back to my favorite time period of enlightenment with Thomas Paine. My religion is doing good, and I am a citizen of the world. I live here on this planet. Now, you could put up rules that say I can't go where or be part of this or go over here, but you cannot deny that I am a being on this planet. Not just an immigrant from Superman's side, is not just an immigrant into these United States. Superman is an immigrant of this planet. And he treats us on this planet with American values, traditional American values. Not the we don't want people here, not the we want it to look like us, we want it to be this religion, not that religion. We don't want you over here, but we want maybe these people or any of that. When you go outside of the borders, when you go outside of our continent, when you go outside of our hemisphere, etc., you end up in our world, and Superman is the symbol of it. Truth, justice, and the American way. And I ask you this. People who attack Superman, are they villains? In the history of Superman and everything that has been going on, when you attack Superman, when you come after Superman, the Ubermensch, the enlightened type of mentality that we are all better because we are all equal. And we are all people, and we all have dignity as people. Superman recognized that. Why can't we? And so I ask you again, when you attack Superman, when you attack the symbol of America, now you can turn around and say all day James Gunn is doing that exact same thing. But of all of the things that I just talked to you about, truth, justice, the American way, freedoms that extend to everyone who is here in America. Yes, us citizens, do we have it a little bit better? Sure. But there are still baseline freedoms and laws for people that are here. And no amount of wall and no amount of imprisonment or changing or anything like that will stop people from wanting to be in a place where everyone is free. And not free because the government decided we are all free. We are free because we maintain our republic, where we turn around and we have the mutual aid of each other, of why we form a society and why we respect each other here in America. And so I ask you again, when you attack Superman, are you the good guy? When Superman criticizes you, and it is mostly because Superman is a symbol, and that symbol represents truth, justice, and the American way. And what is the American way? Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And freedom from freedom from arbitrary domination. We shouldn't just have somebody snap their fingers or wave a flag or write a piece of paper and take freedom from you. When we come back, we're going to talk about energy. I've got a lot of it. That's why I wanted to do Superman first. But we're going to talk about energy. We're going to talk about clean energy, and some of the things people say about clean energy may or may not be true. Maybe that's why Superman is so righteous. He runs on pure sunlight. Here on Apolitical Talk Show, you can always find the podcast on your favorite podcasting platform. Just search for it right there, Apolitical Talk Show. It's right there. Apple Podcasts, Amazon, all the different ways you can see us. Thanks for sticking around. We got one more hour until the Sox coverage kicks off at 6 p.m. tonight. Thanks for listening. I'll be right back at, about 6 after the top of the hour. WRMN. Systems run everything. Government, economy, media, justice. They shape your choices, your opportunities, your future. But do they work for you or against you? On Apolitical Talk Show, we break them down. Not to destroy, but to understand. Because if you don't see how the system works, you won't see when it's being manipulated or who's benefiting from it. Challenge the loopholes and demand accountability. That starts with knowledge. That starts here. Join us weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. as we uncover what's really happening behind the headlines so you can decide for yourself what's fair, what's broken, and what needs to change. Apolitical Talk Show, breaking down the systems to build them up together. Right here, weekdays 4 to 6 on WRMN, the talk of the town.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410 Elgin time 5.
With your 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Kernan.
Brought to you by Fidelity.
Indian Prairie School District 204 is moving forward with the purchase of 3 new school activity buses equipped with wheelchair lifts. Following a unanimous vote at this week's board meeting, the $305,000 investment will be fully funded through federal grant money from Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. Dog owners in Will County have an opportunity to save this summer as the Forest Preserve District has announced they're offering half-price dog park permits valid at all 6 dog parks. Reduced rates are set at $20 for county residents and $40 for non-residents. Contact Will County for further information. Food trucks may soon have a larger role to play in downtown Elgin and public spaces following a key vote by the Planning and Zoning Commission. The commission unanimously recommended expanding rules to allow food trucks on public property, including parks and downtown streets, as long as vendors secure conditional permits.
Top of the hour, team. Thanks for being here. New hour, new show. Let me put on my camera, too. We're waiting for the news to fire off for those of you that are over on the YouTube side of things. People on the radio are hearing all the news, all the commercials, all the stuff over there. You get some behind-the-scenes action. I want to start doing it at the top and bottom of the hour for everybody. That way we can start giving you guys a little treat. Socks are coming up. Already got it set. Cool, groovy. Yeah, socks are coming up at the top of the hour for the next hour. 6 for those of you in the live stream. If you're watching the replay, that's fantastic. Thanks for doing that. I try to make sure that the title card goes in between stuff. So that way, if you wanted to scrub through some commercials or some of just the live gobbledygook that we've got, I mean, we got a lot of PSAs and things like that. We'd love you to hear. Any of the sponsors that we've got, we usually make sure that we've got a live read for them. So we make sure those are all taken care of too. But for those of you that are just kind of finding the live stream and don't want the radio experience, by all means, we're working on maybe getting timestamps for starts too. So it's a great time to jump in, subscribe, all the different goodies that happen down there at the chat and whatnot. Text line's open too, 505-926-1410. I've turned the text line into a call line today, so if you want to get a part of that, you're more than welcome to come over. What are we talking about? Yes, we are talking about clean energy. There's been a few assumptions about clean energy that have been made out there, and I want to make sure that we know what's going on. So I grabbed a whole bunch of different research from a few different places, things that you can read as well, and we'll just run down the claims for things on that one. We've got about, looks like about 2 minutes or so now left over. Yeah, so a couple clean energy facts, things like that, nothing crazy. So coming up in about 2 minutes, guys, I'm going to hop back over on the other direction. Just jump in. Let me know where you're listening from. See you in a bit.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms after 5 p.m. Partly sunny with a high near 85. Tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms before midnight, then a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Mostly cloudy with a low around 68. Currently, it is 88 and partly cloudy. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Here's comedian Howie Mandel for hands-free Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins.
Yeah, I'm holding a new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-in sneaker, and first of all, I barely know I'm holding it. It's that light. You see, Cozy Fit is a cool new sneaker where the upper is made of a soft quilted material. It's kind of like a little puffer jacket for your feet, except it looks like a super stylish sneaker.
Introducing new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins, the latest comfort creation from Skechers. You can find Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Hello, America, and good day to our friends around the world. This is a political talk show here on WRMN. That's WRMN 1410 on the AM dial and WRMN1410.com. Text lines open 505-926-1410, 505-926-1410. Utilized by all kinds of people every single day. I mean, we've got Dennis, Fast Eddie, no nickname, John, Jeannie. Dean jumps in there every once in a while. We've got 58 Mike. All kinds of different people that love to jump into the WRMN text line. You can too. Just text us over 505-926-1410 or give us a call. It is now turned into a call-in line, at least for today. Now, usually I turn it off when I'm not on the road. But, again, thanks for being here. In the last hour, we got done talking about Superman. Now, we may go into Nietzsche's Übermensch or anything like that later on down the line. I am, if not a political junkie, a philosophy junkie. And if we can do political philosophy, oh, get out of town. That's why I'm here on this earth. It's so nice, delicious. But what we're going to talk about is more of the science side of things. Now, we all know, of course, every single person knows that Superman gets its power not from the American spirit, but gets it from the sun. Plenty of times where he is cut off from the sun. As soon as he gets some sun, he Popeye's out on it. Superman is to the sun as Popeye is to spinach. Your daily analogy. So I want to talk about a little bit of myths and things that have been spread around, right? Rumors sometimes are right, sometimes are wrong, sometimes have a little bit of kernel of truth into them. So I'm going to talk about just a couple of the highlights, and even then, most recent highlights. This was just a couple days ago, but I'm going to play just a little bit of the blight on our country is what the White House said.
It's very bad for your beautiful surroundings, the plains and the valleys, and the birds are dying all over the place. You know, the whole thing is a disaster. They're almost exclusively made in China. Not that I have anything against China, because I don't have a great relationship with President Xi, but I asked him, how many wind farms do you have? He makes them, but they don't have a lot of wind farms, I'll tell you, very, very few. And wind is tremendously expensive and is very ugly. And if you own a house that's inside of a windmill, your house is worth less than half. And you hear noises. And interestingly, in New England, you probably read, where for 50 years they had 2 wells washed up. 50 years. And last summer, they had 14 washed up. Now, I'm not saying that's the wind farm that was built, but maybe it is, right? Probably is. It's tremendously expensive, and it can only be done with subsidy. You know, I know a man that's in that business, and one of the biggest in the world actually runs a company that builds these stupid windmills. And he said, I hate the business because it's the only energy where you need subsidy. He said, energy shouldn't need subsidy. You should make money with energy. So wind. The other one is the solar, those big solar fields. They're taking our farmland. Our farmers are like mortified by it. They hate it. It's very, very inefficient and very ugly too. You know, probably better than a windmill, but you go around and you see all these things that are 3 miles long by 3 miles wide, and you say, what the hell is that? And it's a lot of plastic from China.
So despite my relationship that I have with whales anyway as a sonar technician, I'm not entirely sure that windmills are necessarily what would be calling it. Now, I do believe he's referring to some of those windmills that are offshore as well. So we also hear about birds. All construction has a danger to birds. Trust me, we broadcast in a glass studio every morning, so we know a thing or two about birds coming into structures, and we are at the bottom for things. So there was a lot in there. There was a lot of China builds everything, but China doesn't have enough of their own. Subsidies need to be put in, or inefficiencies, and all of these other different things. So first thing I want to do is the AP News was really good about, let me pull it up. Where did you go? The AP News was really good about kind of condensing that whole thing with almost like a back and forth. So they took the clip from the 8th, played it, and then Haya Pajwani from AP News kind of fact checks it in real time. So instead of us just sitting here listening to him talk again for, I only played, my God, I think I only played 2 minutes of it. Felt like forever. But I'm going to play you 1 minute of the factual side, give you the kind of the headlines of it, and then we'll go ahead and break it down. This is AP News, Haya Pajwani, with reports on some claims by the president.
It's no secret that President Donald Trump isn't a fan of wind power.
Are you kidding me? You dropped off too? Okay. Fine. Haya Pajwani. That's, I guess, why I'm here. To make sure that we could do the whole thing. I think what ended up happening was they might have taken it down. It was pretty damning. But I guess that's my job now, Haya. I should have downloaded that instead of just left it sit there. But let's talk about it. So there's 5 points that I want to make and look at. Undermines grid reliability, so that efficiency side of things. It overburdens taxpayers. It exposes the U.S. foreign supply chain vulnerabilities when they're talking about China. Were they all made in China? And the intended rollbacks won't hurt anything. So let's go into it right now. So claim number 1, wind and solar destabilize the electrical grid. But Trump had specifically said that wind and solar are unreliable, causing blackouts and higher prices. The data shows in Texas from the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, blackouts decreased from 12% in 2024 to 0.3% as renewables and battery storage expanded. Prices also fell 24% below the national average. This is all according to Reuters. So that right there in 1 year, remember when we were making fun of Texas, of the blackouts and everything else, that they can't keep the lights on and everything else? We were practically calling it Candlestick Field or wherever that that park out is. But it went from 12% to 0.3%. Prices had also fallen 24%. Cheaper prices, better reliability. Are you kidding me? Can you get that anywhere else? If I told you that there's a miracle machine that we could put in and your efficiency is going to go up to only being down 0.3% from 12% being down. Oh, and by the way, it's going to save you 24% in prices. You would call me a crazy person. Compared to coal, oil, gas, they're reliable, but they emit high levels of carbon dioxide. And I get it. This is where they like to say this is reliable. It's also reliable because we have built an infrastructure around them. They don't build gas line pipes for windmills. We already have trains for those. And have you seen the way our trains are set up? Nuclear is very reliable, has low CO2 emissions, but it is more costly to build and maintain. There's a lot of people out there that are just like, look, let's just meet in the middle and just do nuclear all the way. A lot of libertarians are on that side of the fence on that too, because nuclear does not get as many subsidies as the others do. It's kind of odd to be pointing at clean energy subsidies when $3 billion or so goes to the oil lobbies every year. Wind and solar are variable but reliable when combined with battery storage with near zero CO2 emissions. And obviously, we don't just sit there and throw a propeller out there and say, as long as the wind's going, it's going. No, the entire system also deals with battery storage, storing that energy. We're going to keep talking about different claims. The next claim that we're going to go into is clean energy is too expensive for the taxpayers. Well, when we come back to Apolitical Talk Show, we will find out what the Cato Institute has to say about that. Be right back here on Apolitical Talk Show, WRMN.
Here on WRMN AM 1410, we like to keep you informed and in tune to what's happening here in the Fox River Valley and what's going on here on WRMN. We recognize the importance of local radio to be a part of the conversation and to be a part of the community for the community.
You know, we talked about the importance of community theater, but supporting community radio is a big deal too. And, you know, for WRMN, this is a really cool thing that you guys do every day and a really important thing. You have to have a local media outlet to talk about what's going on in your town. So you guys do a nice job.
Tune in to AM 1410, WRMN. Don't forget, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/WRMN Radio. Keep in tune and informed on what's happening here in the Fox River Valley, right here on WRMN.
Want to read some action-packed, exciting pulp fiction? Read the works of Michael Tooman, now featuring the international crime thriller, I Married a Bot Madam. Available on Amazon in hardcover, paperback, and Kindle editions. The paperback is also available at other book retailers. Check out Michael Tooman's webpage at Silink.net. That's Papa Sierra Yankee Lima India November Kilo dot November Echo Tango.
Nobody had to tell your grandparents not to drive while using their typewriters. Why should it be any different for us kids and our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough. But if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to A Political Talk Show here on WRMN. Apologize for those of you on the radio. I pushed the wrong button. Thanks for being here, especially those of you who are on the YouTube side. Head on over there if you want to join into the conversation, chat back and forth, meet some political friends. Speaking of political friends, I'm going to have some of them over tomorrow. Free Speech Friday's coming up. I'd love to hear from you about what game I should subject our Free Speech Friday panel to. We've had a few of them before. We've had Mad Libs. We have had political math. We have had Is It in the Constitution? We may do Is It in the Declaration? But I don't know if you've read the Declaration of Independence recently. But every year it always surprises me that half of it is just a list of grievances. Like the whole first of it is the beautiful declaration of just like it comes a time where people need to step up and they need to say we need to take care of ourselves instead of be subjects of somewhere else or all of these other things. Right? All about national autonomy and national unity and cohesion. But most of it is grievances. He did this, he did these. Oh my gosh, he did these things over here. Did you hear what he did twice? Just take a look at it. It's pretty neat. So we're talking about the energy, clean or otherwise. And we have a study here on the clean energy is too expensive for taxpayers. What Trump had said, President Trump had said, was subsidies for renewables are wasteful. What the data shows is subsidies cost $936 billion to almost $2 trillion in 10 years. However, wind and solar now generate over 15% of the electricity, often at lower prices than coal or nuclear. But you would think for a almost $2 trillion investment, depending on which data you're looking at, you can find all of this from the Cato Institute. Great place. They printed my my Constitution for me. That's CATO. Cato.org is the best place to go for that one. But even the Cato Institute found that the budgetary cost of the Inflation Reduction Act's energy subsidies were a massive transfer from taxpayers to private firms. This was another let's pay our friends who are in this area and in this stuff. And who was pushing this? This is one of those times that those of you with the other side of the aisle, this is, mark it down on your calendar, I guess, because I don't seem to ever do this. But the IR energy tax credit could cost $4.7 trillion by 2050. Cost, like actual payout. This is a bill. This isn't we are putting a deficit in or by lowering our income. This is we want to pay this out. Now, I'm not saying that subsidies are always bad. Again, we have to live in this world that actually, has semantics. But this is where people talk about that diversity side of things, where they break it up. And my problem is they're looking at the wrong type of diversity. They want to look at minority diversity as the race or identity or anything else. But do you know what some of these small business owners identify as? Small business owners. That's the identity we need to be focused on. If you want to have a flourishing, laissez-faire, neoliberal type of capitalist society that they keep shouting over and I can't stop hearing about for my entire lifetime, then fine. But let's stop picking the winners all the time. We just got done with a governor, right? Giving the favors. Giving the, hey, you get this, the political nepotism for things. And then we want to claim self-start. Emerald mines. Sit on an IBM board. $300,000 to start your up. Yeah, of course, self-made. You're absolutely right. Yeah, sure. And so if the illusion of self-made isn't real and is an illusion, then that means that self-start means seed start. You got $300,000 to open up something. Congratulations. Look how far you've gotten. You got married in Italy. But my problem is we continuously give it to the people who are already at the top. That's my problem with this. Because all they want to do is help the people that are at the top, for the top, and all of the other side. And we don't want to realize that they're all the same people. Again, look at their messaging. There are some out there that say this is a tax cut for billionaires. This works for billionaires. The reason they're not saying rich, the reason they're not saying millionaires is because they are those other two. Now, they could be mad. They could be jealous of the billionaires. And so again, clean energy has been used to transfer wealth once again, like any of the other massive technological subsidies we continuously have. 10 years, trillions of dollars. Where's your solar panel? Where's all of the different ways that we've put these things together and into work? Why are we always continuously hearing about how they're just around the corner? It's like the damn 2 weeks problem again. And so where are we going to get our money's worth out of these things? And when will we stop picking these winners, the ones who have already won.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Credan.
Bottom of the hour break. Thanks for being on the YouTube, guys. I mean, wouldn't this be something Superman would fight? The transfer of wealth. I'm going to start coming in and out, at least on the top and bottom of the hours. The wings, the floaters, you're going to have to keep. But during this part here, I want to get in with the YouTube side of things so that we can actually keep the conversation moving. If you want to hear the news, by all means, you can listen to the live stream or anything else like that. But what I think I'm going to start doing is at least coming in and talking for a few minutes with you. These are the longest breaks, just for those of you that want that behind-the-scenes side. Even then, let me show you. I'm working on a couple things, too. So this right here, I can now pull up my screen. So we've got, this is that Cato report that I was telling you about. This is the budgetary cost right here with the Inflation Reduction Energy Tax Credit. Boom. $5 trillion, 2050. What do we get out of that? Travis Fisher posted in March, so it's still pretty good. And here it is. Cato Institute's got a great side. I think they are center right with things, but really factual, really straightforward. Great articles as well. Disregard this little guy in the corner. That's so I can see some things. But I hope you guys like the little behind the scenes kind of look that we've got going on here. I got more stuff to talk about as we come up. We're going to be back at 34 is when we're coming back from there. But stick around. We got another half hour until the Sox game kicks off, and we're just going to hang out and have a good time. Yeah, about 90 seconds, we'll be back on the air. Stick around.
We researched over 1,000 annuities and summarized rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. You get annuity do's and don'ts for baby boomers and the annuity rate report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now.
800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. That's 800-760-1845.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms before midnight, then a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Some storms could produce heavy rain, mostly cloudy with a low around 68. Chance of precipitation is 70%. Tomorrow, scattered showers and thunderstorms with partly sunny skies and a high near 90, feeling like 98. Currently, it is 87 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
This summer with Kohl's, you can rack up the compliments. Like, where'd you get that dress? Tell me all your makeup secrets. Or, ooh, my husband needs that polo in every color. Because Kohl's has what you need. Cute dresses, Sephora essentials, stylish polos, comfy kids clothes, and more. Plus, take 20% off some of your faves. Yep, cue the compliments with Kohl's. Select styles, some exclusions apply. Offer ends July 20th. Coupons and Kohl's Cash do not apply to Sephora. See store or kohls.com for details.
Welcome back, WRMN. You're listening to a political talk show. My name is Dennis Sonar Green. We're walking through some of these clean energy claims. This is definitely one of those things that both sides hate me on. I know I like to stick my neck out sometimes on different things, but this is one of those things that it's a mixed bag with clean energy. When you actually peel it off and take it away from the idealistic type of movements to things and infrastructures or rah-rah propaganda type of side for things, yeah, it's a great idea, but how are we executing it? That's where we always seem to fall down with everything. It's this is what we want, this is where we're going, this is what we want to achieve, and then the execution never happens. And honestly, I blame the political side for things. We've got two ideologies that continuously promise over and over and over again. Overpromise, in fact. When you overpromise and you continuously get let down, and you get an overpromise, let down and overpromise and let down and overpromise, you build up a callous type of mentality towards things that are happening. Infrastructure will have all of these different things. Like, we're going to get to the point where most of these projects for all of the Build Back Better and everything else, by the time that the funding actually comes down, they've already changed it. Why do you think nothing gets done? I think it was Rand Paul who was saying that he's never seen a 10-year plan get past 3. So we turn around and we talk about it's going to do this over 10 years and all of these other things. Because they want to expand it over 10 years and make us all feel good and it's just over 10 years or we'll break it out. But what they don't want to tell you is the trillions of dollars for this year and this time. And that's where a lot of even the Inflation Reduction Act or the Clean Energy Bill or any of these other things, they're all fantastic when we put them down on paper and we want to sing Kumbaya around a campfire and strum a guitar and maybe somebody brought some margarita mix. It's all fun, dandy, everything else, but how are we going to execute it? I'm not going to agree with solar destabilizing. I'm not even going to agree with it not being cheaper. It is cheaper. It is, in its own definition, renewable. And it is pretty efficient as long as the batteries are there too, right? But every single thing is there. Well, coal burning is pretty good as long as the coal keeps coming. But at the same time, it is expensive to us, the taxpayers. And this is where, if we wanted to actually take it from that civic Republican side of things, that foundational side of things, this is where the money that needed to be spent, was going to be put out there, shouldn't have gone to 5 or 6 people. We need to start, when we say distribution of the wealth, it's not pitchforks and pulling people out of their houses. Although historically that has been the most effective. Not saying to do anything, just saying historically. So we have agreed to, instead of doing those things, that we would petition our government and we would talk to our bosses and go through HR. But the redistribution of wealth is not the take it from someone else all the time. Now, by all means, those of you that want to say we want to bring America back to where it was great, well, let me tell you about some taxes and some tax brackets in those times. So let's fire it up. You want to go back to that tax bracket when America was, quote, great? Well, hot damn, let's go. But you won't. So when these tax spent, right? Money spent, they take the taxes in, our taxes then go out the door. Our taxes continuously funnel to the people and the places that don't help America. Where's our high-speed rail? How much have we spent on that? What they've done is they've built these black holes for people that are just 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. It'll be done in 2 weeks. More 2 weeks. This 2 weeks infrastructure. 2 weeks. We're working on it. 2 weeks. Oh, here's the memo of our 2-week report. And that's where people get mad about spending all of this money. Where is it? It's pooling at the top. You think the high-speed rail money that we were supposed to have a high-speed rail system around here is just sitting in a warehouse going, I'll wait till that high-speed rail shows up? No. They just wire the money to whoever promised the lowest bid to make the thing. Yeah, sure, be the lowest bid, but if you never do anything, then you're the guy who makes all the money. And so I thank the Cato Institute for putting something like that together, where we can see where all of this kumbaya, let's send this money out for subsidies and everything else, we're not getting anything. Hell, you want some clean energy? I bet it would be cheaper to just put a human wheel in front of my house. Done. Game over. At least that way you're paying. Because this is the issue, is we always want to, and we as the American government, we always want to send the money down to whoever has the flashiest money and can promise the flashiest side. Don't think I think I'm saying something about it? Who was waving around a chainsaw and still has government subsidies? Who's building rocket ships to go up into space just for their friends? What I'm tired of is, look, if you're going to spend the money, okay, cool. You're going to spend the money. There's nothing I can do other than stop voting for people that like to spend things. And that's definitely a both sides that we can both link arms on. But my problem is I am so tired of this, quote, merit-based system that they claim is out there for merit-based system. You want to look 2 or 3 levels into the administration's cabinet right now? There's like 500 something people that all work at the leisure of the White House. You've got people that their only qualification is internship somewhere at some other rich guy's place. I've said it before, and I'll probably say it 1 billion times. Maybe I'll get $1 for every one. It'll take me a couple 10,000 years. But I can never fathom, when I was a kid and could not understand the way people work, and even then, I have some trouble with it. But don't worry, I'm keeping a notebook on most of you so that I can see the patterns and do whatever. Anyway, I could never fathom how people could serve under lords and kings, and who gave this person the divinity from God to be anointed through birth. until I saw America's nepotism. And once we turn around and just give up on voting and go, you know what? Whatever. They're a Cheney. They're a Clinton. They're a Bush. They're a Trump. They're a McCain. They're a Romney. This is my issue with the entirety of this. This is how you get lords and ladies and the king. Because instead of an actual merit-based system, where we have an actual civic republic in which we can actually put things together. Bush is right. Thanks for coming in on that, Dennis. Until we have those things, we're going to get lords and ladies. Look at it this way. The one of the most craziest things to the Supreme Court that's come out recently about the universal actions. Essentially, what has happened now is every single judge's precinct now has the different laws. Throughout this entire country, there will be different, not even just laws. Let's even go one further. Dennis came in with Bush Light. That's a good one. Let's take it even further. Not just laws. If the federal government says this is the thing here, like let's take birthright citizenship. Federal government says birthright citizenship by executive order is null and void, which is literally sitting on the table right now. A judge in a precinct would have to fight that in court for the people in their area to be covered by protection of that. So if a judge in that district decided not to bring the class action lawsuit against the federal government, that law stands by decree of the king. Do you not see our slippery slope here? And then you're going to turn around and say, well, Sonar, you're just beating up on the red. No! It has been multiple presidents that have led us up to this position. If this presidency doesn't take over all of the powers that have been miraculously given to him, the next guy surely will. Talk about set a precedent. We talk about all of these different things. And the reason that I bring up that the climate change is different and the climate change is moving is because this is the game. When we talk about the system isn't rigged. The system is working exactly as designed. Money from something that we all voted for and we all wanted and we all put together survives for just a couple of years, just long enough for everybody to go, oh, sorry, we had a 5-year plan, but all the money dried up in 2. Shucks. Where is our return on investment? We want to talk about fiscal responsibility here in America. That's where we start. We start in looking where the money's going. And we turn up the heat on the money coming in, on those who are benefiting from this, to lower their taxes and then to turn around and give them a briefcase of money through a subsidy is disgusting. We all know it. And so this is how we get kings and lords and ladies and monarchs and the oligarchy and the aristocracies and all of the other bad buzzwords in your face. But this is the direction we're going. We're not headed backwards to a republic. We're not taking our power back as the American people. We're voting in yet another lackey who wants their shot at being the Lord and Lady. That their lineage might be able to carry on. I hope you like being a serf. I hope you like how every single thing that you own is actually owned by not the government, but by the government's friends. Facebook, Google, Apple, TikTok, all of the different media platforms are marching towards a feudalistic type of side. Have you tried to do anything online without an email? Have you tried to sign up for anything? Get a job. Sign a lease. Open a bank account. Tell them you don't have an email. Do you have a cell phone? No. I've got my ID and I've got money. What other transaction do you need? This is how you march towards that feudalistic side. This is how you turn around and the cousin's nephew of the roommate's guy, I can't remember the name of the stuff through Spaceballs. I haven't watched it long enough. But you see what I mean? The favors come in because they know somebody. Not because of merit base, not because of diversity hire, but because they know somebody. And the only problem that the other side or this side or any of the sides have is it's not their somebody that they know. I get to put my guy in there. And I get it. I'm a guy who knows a guy as well. But when it comes to trillions of dollars to get bupkis or half of what was promised isn't working for me. And I don't think it's working for you either. Because this is how you get it. This is how you get that side where the political nepotism and favoritism, definitely not merit-based. Do you think our Secretary of Defense right now is there because of merit? Director of Homeland Health and Human Services? Education? You're telling me merit? This is the issue that I constantly have of trying to pull us all back into objective reality. And again, our fight with propaganda. Propaganda, again, isn't always bad. We just talked about Superman. Superman's fantastic. Truth, justice, the American way, say it forever. And what we end up with is just a hollowed out message if we don't follow through. If we don't do it the actual way we should. Now, for me, yes, I am absolutely for legal immigration. Who controls the rules? Why can't we do that? Why do we always have to think about, well, come in here legally? Okay, who's in control of the rules to get people here legally? Could somebody tell me that real quick? Can we make it a little bit easier? Or do we have to constantly use it again to pay more money to more people, to more contractors, to more things? And That's my issue with this. Who made them criminals? People that enjoy maybe a smoke or two of the old wacky tobacco. What changed from you being a criminal when you smoked it to not being criminal now? Not your habits. I know you potheads. Come on. All that's changed is the law. And how much of a relief did you have when finally the thing that you wanted to do in your life that wasn't bothering anybody else, just living your life, being you, taking up space, ain't a crime. At least in my eyes. All that changed, words on a paper. Now, I'm not another one of those people that say blanket amnesty either. But there's a reason we have a process. My argument, and many of my generation's argument, and many of the people here in America's argument, is why is it so hard that it has to be criminal? I know we touched on quite a bit here in this last bit, especially. But I wanted to go down this rabbit hole because a lot of it is the foundational side of what America is struggling with right now. Is we're not struggling with a left and a right problem. Not to the extent that they care. Everybody who voted for that bill and everybody who didn't vote for that bill, something good was in it for them. That's the reason why Republican stuff gets passed. Republican tax cuts get passed. And breaks for student loans don't. How many of them have student loans? How many of them are having trouble with housing? How many of them want a cleaner future because they'll be around for it? 2050, $4 trillion. 2035, from this newest bill, another $5 trillion. What's another $5-10 trillion when I won't be around anymore? That mentality sucks. Shame on you for having it. We need to leave it for our future generations. Not just my kids, not just your kids, not just kids in general, the people that will be Americans, that will uphold the truth, justice, and the American way, and become the supermen, and become the Ubermenches. Thanks for sticking around. Hey, we got some socks coming up as well here at the top of the hour. Thanks for listening to Apolitical Talk Shows on your favorite podcasting platform somewhere out there.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening. That's an interesting sound. It's like your mental health.
Hey, everybody. I'm going to come back over. That's the end. That's there. Something else you want to talk about or anything like that? Again, I appreciate you guys all coming in, jumping down into the YouTube side of things. If you've made it this far, you got to leave that like. You're already sitting there. See, I see you there. Them people. I'm looking. I see you there. Go ahead. It's right here-ish. Leave that like. If you haven't already subscribed, do that too. Some of the reading today that we had was from Reuters. They were the ones that gave us the grid stabilization from the Electric Reliability Council of Texas. The Cato Institute was the other one that we pulled up too. Let me just grab that real quick just to show you. I got to get to class, but let me show you. This was the other one here. That's the Cato Institute, the budgetary cost of inflation and where it all went. The tagline of it is massive cash transfer from taxpayers to private firms in the guise of environmentalism. So that's one of them that are there. White Sox just fired off too, so good. I'm gonna disconnect from the station, so that way. So now we're completely clear of the station. It's just us here. Just wanted to go over some of these things that are on it. The other one was from the New York Post. I don't always pull up the New York Post, but when I do, it's pretty juicy. Former Superman Dean Cain hopped in on that one. How woke is Hollywood going to be to make this character? That's him. That's Dean Cain. Great show, by the way. I liked Lois and Clark. That was a fun. That was about that time with like Touched by an Angel and all kinds of other great TV shows. What was the other one where the guy had the newspaper? It was like Early Edition or something. That was a cool show. Let me see. Where else were we talking about? This is that Reuters one. I'll bring that up for you too. This is the Trump calls wind and solar power bad for it. Called it stupid and everything else. But this is where that number came from that I was telling you about, of it going to 0.3%. That was where I saw it from there. 10 cents a kilowatt hour brought it down to 24% below the national average. So let me see here. What else were we doing? AP. I was trying to find that AP news, and it's like it disappeared. So I got to find it because I wanted to play it. Senators mentioned Yahoo, New Hampshire ICE. Well, you know what? I guess I might not see it. Issues, equity. They must have taken it off. She did sound a little sarcastic in that one, but you know. Can't always be up there at the top. Let's see here. Who else was I running out? And then the video clip, or I guess the audio clip that I played was from Forbes. So I want to recommend that too on my way out as well. Forbes breaking news on YouTube, phenomenal, because they don't bring anything other than what this is. They'll cut out a section. So like, let's say the president talks for 5 minutes straight. They'll cut this out and then post it. Just the 5 minutes right on there. That's it. Nothing other than maybe a headline or a title, and then pop it right back out. Absolutely fantastic. If you are one of those people that don't like any kind of bias into things, absolutely great. Let's see here. I got that from Forbes. The other one that's really good too is The Hill. That's part of News Nation, but they are more on the digital and more centered. I think they were trying to go closer to a libertarian type of delivery. But some of the hosts that are on there play a good balance of each other. Each one of the hosts obviously has their own bias for things, but they report the news for it. It's a really cool, refreshing way to look at the news as well. They'll swap the reporters on that one. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. I got to wrap it up. I got class to get to teach essentially this whole thing. Glad you could hang out with us for a little bit. And if you made it over to the YouTube video on demand side, leave that like and subscribe too. Thank you. See you then.